you go. Julie,
Oh,
how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much. So welcome to the show. It is so cool and awesome to have you here. So before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome from someone as talented as you. So let me show you.
Thank you.
Epic, I know.
Very good.
All right. So again, welcome here. So yeah, let's get started then. So tell me how your acting career started.
Oh gosh. So I got into acting a little later than some people. I was about 21, and I was actually working in web design at the time and doing marketing for a website that I was working on. And I remember I had gone out for the second or third time to pick up a check from a client who, once again, I was told they were out golfing.
Okay.
And I just remember sitting in my car being very frustrated and sitting there thinking, if I'm going to work this hard and not get paid, I'm going to be an actor. But in all seriousness, that was kind of the point where I committed to moving to Vancouver, where I'm based now, and really getting started in training and learning what it was to be an actor.
Okay.
And once I kind of had a taste for it, it's been the dream ever since that point. It's an incredible thing to do as a job, to explore a character's mind and become another person and tell stories.
Okay. I like it. That's really cool. And so, like when you were recently started, tell me, like, what were some of the challenges that you had?
Oh, I definitely had a point when I had first moved to Vancouver, and I was like, okay, I'm here. What does one do as a actor starting out? I will go and I will, get into working in the restaurant industry, because that's what you do. You serve tables and you take auditions in between.
Yeah.
So definitely there was a period where it was just like the days were nonstop. I'd get up at 6 a.m. and go to work in the restaurant, and as soon as I was off, it was like submitting auditions for all kinds of little student films and indies, and anything I could do. Classes. I was also trying to keep up going to the gym. I was very disciplined back then, so the days were just jam-packed full, and definitely felt like there was no end of things that I could be doing and learning, and it was just trying to figure out what was really valuable to me as a beginning actor, where I should be putting my time and energy and
Okay.
what I should be doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then in 2015, you were in The Fault, Tomorrow Lasts a Long Time, and Trump Card. Tell me, like, were those some of your first projects? And also, like, what are some of the things that you can remember from those first experiences?
Yeah, those were some of my very first ones. It was a long time ago now. So Default was a lot of fun. We did that one as part of a 48-hour film competition. So from start to delivery, everything was done in 48 hours.
Okay.
And that was my first time doing one of those. I've done quite a few since. But it was really interesting just to see the whole creative process. I was kind of there from beginning to end, and it was really interesting to see what it takes to bring a project from coming up with the idea right to delivery.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Tomorrow Lasts a Long Time, we shot on location in White Rock, and it was just beautiful places and amazing people. And I think part of what really has kept me in love with this process is how many incredible people I've had the chance to meet and work with along the way. Okay.
Wow. And then in 2016, you were in Untold Stories of the Yard, Rushback, Lost Man, and Ghostbusters. Tell me, like, what are some of the things that usually sets you up in order to prepare a character? I mean, I understand, of course, that depends on the role and everything, but like, what usually set you in the mood to be like, okay, let's start creating this character?
Yeah, I think definitely you're right when you say every character is very different. Just because as people we're so different, and characters are the same way. I think for me, the first thing I usually do when I get a script is to just really read through the whole thing and get an idea of that character's journey and kind of who they are at the beginning and where they end up. I definitely am a fan of getting off book and learning all the lines as early as possible, so that you've got a lot of room to start playing and really experimenting with where the character's kind of pulling their. Once you get the lines out of the way, you can focus on all the character work. Definitely, I think there's different techniques I'll use for each character. I've definitely used like music and like what kind of music would that character listen to as kind of a way to get into a character sometimes. If they're a very physical character, I definitely want to be going to the gym and training in ways that suit the physicality of that character. It's kind of I definitely wouldn't say I'm method or anything like that, but there's definitely a lot of who we are is expressed in how we move and think and how we live our lives. So yeah, I think finding those traits is key. What makes them interesting? What makes them tick? What are they scared of?
Okay.
I have a lot of imaginary conversations in my mind.
I like it. That's really cool. And what are some of the things that you liked the most when you were in the process of character creation?
I really love the first moment of getting to see who that character is and all the possibility that is held there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think a script is amazing because it's kind of a blueprint. It gives you the blueprints to this structure, but at the end of the day, the building looks a lot different than what you see on paper, and it's the same way with a character. What you get on paper is your blueprint, but who you end up being, there's a bit of magic you get to put in there. So I guess I just really like finding what's that magic, what's interesting about them, what captures you as you're talking to them. Okay,
wow. So then later on, this past couple of years, you've been in a lot of projects actually, such as Ada, Everybody Matters, the Pergamentum, Contact Club, Tsunami Falls, Mama Branca, Old News is So Exciting, Happy Ever After, Buckethead, and Outrunners. So what can you tell me about those projects?
Oh, it's been a busy few years. Ada's been one of the bigger projects that I've worked on recently, and that was actually a biopic about Ada Lovelace, who was actually the woman who wrote the world's first computer program back in the 1800s when computers didn't exist yet. And that was such a fun project to bring to life because it was based on the life of this incredible woman who actually lived and actually did this thing, and so many people hadn't heard about her. So getting to tell that story was such an incredible experience. Speaking of getting into a character and creating a character, that one was particularly interesting because she was, a real person. It was more than creating something out of scratch. It was doing a lot of research on who she was and what her personality was like, and really getting to intimately know this human being, this incredible human being who lived so long ago and did these incredible things. That was wonderful. And then the other projects, I mean, each one of them had their like really interesting, fun little points. Pergamentum was a short horror we did for another 48-hour film competition, and it was shot in the middle of winter, and we had some scenes underwater in the Pacific Ocean. I'm in the water, it's freezing. They had to pull me out between takes and stick me in the bathtub to warm me up, and then pop me back in for another take. So that was definitely challenging, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes, and I was also co-directing on that one, so I blame the director for that, which was my own terrible creative vision. And then Outrunners was the opposite of that. Most of my scenes were in a hot tub, so I
like it.
I know, what a perfect work day, just to like show up and get to sit in a hot tub and make a hilarious movie.
Absolutely. That is so cool.
That's the life.
And like, what would you say it's important when you are, like what would you say it's important for storytelling?
Oh gosh. I think a good story, at the heart of every good story, it respects the audience, I guess. They're spending their time to listen to your story. So as far as like when I'm doing that, I want to make sure that I'm putting in all the work that I need to make sure that I am making the story as good as it can possibly be.
Yeah.
Honesty, I think, is important in good storytelling.
Okay.
A lack of ego. The story is always more important than you and how you feel about your performance as an actor, and setting that aside and really making it about what you're all creating and all pulling together as a team. That's so important. I mean, filmmaking is the most collaborative art form I think there is, where 100 people have to all kind of be on the same page to tell the same story, which is magical when it's happening.
I love it. And at the moment, what has been some of the highlight moments from your acting career?
There's been a lot. I've gotten to do a lot of just fun, crazy things, whether it's getting to jump in the ocean in the middle of winter and and do that, or we shot, there was a short that I shot on a private island off the coast of Vancouver Island, and just taking this little boat out there to stay out there for a few nights and like film that was just an adventure. You have these moments where you're like, is this my life? Is this what I do for work? And those are really neat. That and every time that I've been lucky enough to sit in a theater and watch something we've created and just listen to the audience react to things, I really enjoy that.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, besides acting, I mean, you also have produced a bunch of projects such as Woodman, The Prince, No Reservations, The Undertaker's Son, Cypher, End Hung, Small Fish, Shuttlecock, CC, Border, Influence, The Pergamentum, and Happy Ever After. So tell me, like, what are some of the things that you enjoy? Like in general, like on those projects, what are some of the things that you enjoyed while producing? Like during the whole production here.
So a lot of those I did through a organization here in Vancouver called Crazy Eights, and basically what they do is they create 6 short films in a period of 8 days, and so a lot of those were Crazy Eights films. So I was on a large group of producers, all kind of helping facilitate these films getting made, and really it was incredible. It was kind of like taking a very accelerated film school course, because you're kind of there hands-on in every single phase of production, and because it's smaller indie films, you're kind of watching issues get solved very quickly because you've only got 8 days, and also very creatively, because it's not like you have $100 million as a budget. So absolutely, as a filmmaker, it was so interesting to take away just all those little lessons of like, how do you solve an issue? How do we do this when we don't have the money to do it in a traditional way? Is there some other way that we can do this creatively that doesn't cost us as much, or who can we talk to see if doing it a different way is a possibility? What do we do if something bad happens? How do we handle that? How do we navigate these situations? Producing is definitely a lot of creative thinking and a lot of people skills, and I think it was so valuable as an actor as well to see all what goes into making a film, because then it just makes me really clear on how to do my job and add value to the film, and I think every producer's behind the scenes just really hoping and praying that what's getting created is going to move people and influence people and make somebody out there feel something.
Okay.
And that kind of really puts my job as an actor into perspective as well.
Okay, I like that. And what are usually some of the challenges that someone might have when they are during the production process?
Always budget. And I think it doesn't matter whether you have no money or millions and millions of dollars. You never have quite it's always if I had a little bit more, I could do X, Y, Z. So I think it's always about how can we think creatively and do things in a way where we're able to still tell the story as well as we possibly can. I think, I think it's one of those scenarios where any possible thing could go wrong, and the real magic of a great producer is they see those issues 3 steps before they happen, and they're already fixing them. And if you're on set, you may not even know that 15 disasters have been averted in the last couple of hours, which is amazing.
I love it. Now you also direct and wrote projects such as Sense Memory, Influence, and Pergamentum. Tell me, how you usually get inspired to start writing, and also what do you like the most about directing?
So a lot of the projects that I have written and or directed, I've done as part of film competitions.
Okay.
So definitely, it's been under the gun for finding inspiration.
Okay.
But yeah, I think at the core of whatever I'm writing, I'm curious about people and their inner thoughts and inner workings, and I think a lot of the storylines that tie things that I work on together is based around just that what do people do in very heightened scenarios when stakes are up that high. Directing, I love it. I think I've never conducted an orchestra, but it's what I think that would feel like, I guess. Where you have whether it's 10 people or 50 people or 100 people all working in sync, and you're kind of making sure that everybody's keeping rhythm, and that's amazing. I think it's the same sort of feeling that when you're standing in front of an orchestra and it's swelling, that's the feeling that it is that you get when everything's coming together, and you can just feel yourself making movie magic with a whole bunch of people, and that project is so much bigger than every single one of you, and that's magic.
I love it. And if you could describe your career at the moment, but on a movie, TV show, book, or play, what would be the title of it?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Hopefully not Mission Impossible. Yeah, I don't know. Coming soon to theaters. A Study in Magic.
Okay, fair enough. And if you could describe your career again, but now on a drink.
Maybe a scotch, because I'm hoping that it just gets better and better over time.
Okay, I like that. And actually, scotch is one of my favorite drinks. So
Perfect.
Love it. And Julie, my last question here is, what motivates you? I mean, we all have those days, that we just feel bad. We just don't want to pursue. We don't want pursuing what we love. We want to kind of give up. We want to switch to something else. What gets you out of all of these toxic thoughts and continuing building your career, but at the same time continuing living your passion?
Honestly, acting is definitely one of those jobs that I think even on my bad days, I can't imagine anything else I'd want to be doing more. There's something about telling stories and feeling like you've got a bit more impact. You can impact people. You can change the way they think. You can completely distract them from their lives for a couple of hours. That's incredible. And I know that watching a great movie always just gives me that little prickles on the back of my neck and really makes me go, this is exactly what I want to be doing.
That's amazing, Julie. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I'm a little bit speechless right now, but the fact that you are doing what you love, that you are pursuing it, and at the same time that you're doing it, and it's you know it's happening. That is really cool. That is really cool, and I'm super sure that there's a lot of people who rely on you or who sees you as an inspiration because you are following something that you love, and I understand that it takes courage because it's basically 100% of those results are rely on you. You know, it's not like if I work in someplace else, if I get lazy one day, that's fine. I still gonna receive my paycheck. But on this case, if you get lazy one day, you're wasting one day for achieving something else, you know, or to get an addition, or you know, I mean, the possibilities are you know like a lot of them. But it is super cool what you do, and I can't wait to see more of it. I'm super sure that eventually we're gonna see you more and more and more involved into more stuff here. I mean, as I was doing the whole content here, I mean, you're basically killing it in your page. There's a lot of stuff you have been involved to, and that is really cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next too. I've got a good feeling about this year.
There you go. And also, I want to thank those for watching. I mean, thank you so much if you're watching this, or if you're watching this later too. Also, thank you. Normally, what I would say is super simple. So you're gonna put pause for a while, and then you're gonna, you know, since I mean, we're still kind of in holidays, so it's okay not to be healthy. So you go eat a cookie or 2 or 3 or 5 or the whole box, why not? And then go follow Julie right now. I mean, leave a million likes. Let's make her trendy right now. I mean, let's share let's share her work everywhere, and then come back. And again, Julie, thank you so much for being here. Now, before I send you off, I need to send you off properly again. I mean, I need to send off properly someone as talented and amazing and a rock star as you. So let me just show you again. Hey. Love it. And yeah, keep killing it, keep rocking, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the viewers, and cheers. See you next time.
Bye.